Okay, I was one of the 4 people basically that prepared the whole project NDA at the most kind of really first phase, the first draft. It was a kind of the first plan, and then it was developed until the September of 2013, when we had this initial meeting at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Ljubljana. My expectations, yeah, I don't know, I kind of, perhaps concerning my expectations, I can talk about the archiving project, basically, the project of archiving choreographic practices and contemporary dance in the Balkans. This is basically what my expectations are kind of connected to concerning NDI project. And they're kind of connected with my kind of primary interest in this phase of my life, which is the history of dance and the history of contemporary dance in the Balkans. I think the whole project of archiving is going slow, but it's gradually growing. And I think along with this, the interests of the people involved in the project are growing constantly in every phase. I think at this phase after our meeting at Co-Festival, I'm very satisfied, because I think that motivation really managed to grow. And I feel that people find a new kind of temperature and the passion towards in relation to the project, and I think that the team now is just perfect. I mean, it takes time, because it's something that people think that they will do it, but then that they can do this, that they can engage in this, but it's a specific kind of work, and I think it's a specific kind of motivation to connect it with the finding materials, connect it with the kind of with the catalogization of materials, connect it with the insight in the history of dance that is available to us, and connect it with with a lot of detective work, as I already mentioned before. The detective work that is needed in order for one to find what he's searching, and it's also it's a kind of improvisation in which one has to be alert and also has to react to the material one finds, I think. And then there is a lot of methodological questions. There is a kind of awareness that we are not able to provide the conditions in which institutions work in terms of archiving. That means state archives, municipality archives, regional archives, and so on. That means, in this term I mean institutions. I think that the project could be pregnant if we avoid some traps, legal traps mostly, that are connected with this kind of work, because then things get really expensive and we can't afford this. We are not able to basically fundraise so much that we could fulfill all the legal demands. So it's a kind of partisan work. I think, and it's a kind of activistic work. And when I see when I see some other similar activities going on in the Balkans mostly, I see that this kind of activistic work is the most potential, because the state archives, the institutions, they don't function as good as they should. This was at the phase in which we prepared, which we tried to prepare the meeting in Ljubljana, and the principles how the project would be selected, or better said, invited, or I'm not sure whether this methodology was totally successful, but nevertheless some projects came out of the meeting. And what for me would be more crucial is that at the beginning we set up some kind of motto of Nomad Dance Institute, and that was all is education. And this is for me kind of guarantee that things and the different territories, let's say, on which we are active in the frames of this project, they're all inscribed or used for educational purposes, and they're supposed to be used in this way. This is for me the crucial point, because it kind of provides the fundament from which then different activities can come out and be developed. Yeah. This is for me, because for me the Nomad Dance Institute project is basically kind of generator of the fundament of the network and of the region in terms of activities in the field of choreographic practices and contemporary dancing. It's for me this is more important than, I mean, I was not so involved in the methodology of how the projects are going to be, let's say, chosen or selected or invited, because people are so good in this, some other people are so good in these methodologies, you know. Yeah. The whole logic of the structure of this decision making, let's say, common decision making. I would love for the projects to be very successful and to be pregnant, to be inspiring, to be creative, and so on. This is something that I'm totally kind of I burn for that kind of, you know, like but I can't be, I don't have basically an overview of what is going on in other projects and so on, so I have to say it's I have a basically insight in the already mentioned archiving project, and of course co-teaching, which is the kind of collective that tries to develop different ways of collective teaching. And we had some very inspiring and very nice sessions, very nice experiments, and I'm very satisfied with it. What I see in the both projects is that because we are not able at this point to fundraise enough money locally, we can't match the funds with European money, that it's kind of guaranteed or already affirmed to confirmed. This is the problem. My position recently, I feel that my position is a little bit for example, if I look at my involvement in the Nomad Dance Academy, Nomad Dance Institute, and my position now is that I'm more selective, I would say. At a certain phase I was involved in many things, and now I'm less dispersed and much more focused on the mentioned projects. So yeah, this is kind of my how I position myself now. Basically, I'm trying to reduce obligations and activities consciously, to not to be everywhere, not to be involved in everything, and so on. Basically, I try to focus on with what I can really contribute, not to exhaust myself with the things that I don't think I can contribute with. I wish that the education program that we had between 2008 and 2010 would be kind of sensible again. I think it would, because we had a plan that what is generated here, created here, that kind of is, it will find a way into the let's say, this educational program that we established and we ran for 3 years. And I think this, I'm sure that it will slowly but come to the awareness of people that this is perhaps needed again in the region. Perhaps not in the same form, or I'm not so concerned about the format of nomadic education, more in terms of contents, or more in the sense of formats, or something that has to be, something that would be sensible to share with some people, perhaps not in the same educational methodology that it used to be, that was used in between 2008 and 2010, because fortunately co-teaching is going to come up with something that could be applied to the education and so on. So, but I feel that I would like to see that these projects would have a longer life with basically some kind of educational situation. I have a wish that what we are going to generate, that it will be disseminated and shared as wide with a wider amount of interested people as possible. This I think this is one thing. What I can see is that things go slow, that things don't go so quick as we would like to, and this is partially of the logics of the projects, and partially this fact is connected with the circumstances, let's say. But they grow. It's, yeah.